Hi everyone, welcome to my review of George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead from 1968. So yes, we're back once again, this time round, discussing a legendary filmmaker who I've never really, I don't believe, discussed on the channel before, actually. And yes, what better way to kind of start this, at least on the channel, exploration of this guy's work than his very first feature film. And would you believe, yes indeed, this is his very first feature, and that is Night of the Living Dead, of course. And yes, the Criterion, well, there is the slip behind me, and yes, this is the inside, of course, opening it up, and just amazing, wonderful design there, if you can see, and there's the other side. I'm wowed by this this design here, the artwork, and inside, of course, the two discs, and wow, what a release this was, and I picked this up just last week, actually, and I saw this. It was reduced. A variety of Criterions on Amazon were reduced, and this was only £12. So I thought, I have to get this now. It's a film that I've been wanting to see, all my life really, since I kind of started watching, zombie films, and it's just a case of, finally getting around to this, picking it up. But yes, there will be spoilers. I forgot to say, on this. On this discussion, on this film. So yes, if you haven't seen this film, we'll say it now before we go further into this. That I recommend seeing it first and then coming back to this discussion. And just yes, then you can rest easy, as we always say. You won't get plot points given to you before you've seen the film. All that. This is a very surprising film. Throughout the narrative, and it really is. I'll say it now. A stunning film. It really, really is. I absolutely adored it, and yes, cannot wait to kind of discuss this film, of course, here on the review. So yes, just be warned, and hopefully, you can see the film, and yes, enjoy it, hopefully, and come back and we can talk about this film if you want in the comments. But yes, with all that said, let's dig into this film and discuss this, wonderful, wonderful work of art, and very surprising film, I guess, and just shocking, and truly powerful, and haunting, I guess. But so full of passion, creativity, and wit, and just cinematic, daring, I guess. It really is a wonderful film. Very low budget, of course, $114,000, of course, and very low budget, but it doesn't really feel like this. It just feels like a fully realised, I guess, visionary piece, and it has, grit and, I guess, campiness to it, but, it really isn't, I guess, George A. Romero kind of actually uses this to his advantage. It makes it more of an interesting, I think, realistic feeling, actually, this film. It has this grit, it has this kind of grain to it, and it really is very disturbing, and of course, very just few locations in the film, mainly this farmhouse, as we say, and it's just I think the actual budget, he did not allow this to hinder the film, at all, and as I say, on the contrary, it makes the film, I think. There is more feeling to this, I feel, than it would have had, for example, if it had been a big budget film, in this way. And it really is a wonderful film. The creativity here, and as I say, the passion. It just really is something else. And of course, George A. Romero sadly passed away a few years ago now, and he really was one of the best kind of horror filmmakers. And I've seen Dawn of the Dead a few times, and I just have great memories of seeing this. I was maybe 10 or 11, I think, seeing this film for the first time, and I've seen it a few times overall, but that first experience, it's just, wow, it really was something. So I've been wanting to see this film, Night of the Living Dead, for many, many years, and just, wow, it really is such a great film, and I think, but just, the memories that I've got attached to Dawn of the Dead, and I've seen Day of the Dead as well, and quite a few of the films. I've seen Land of the Dead, another kind of Romero film, and just, yes, I did enjoy that film as well, and I aim to see all of his films eventually, but I've seen quite a few of his films, already, and I guess, it's great to finally see his very first film, and I think this film here, it really is just so legendary. It's an epic film, of course, and just the kind of experience has stayed with me that kind of ending, very, very shocking ending. I did not expect this at all. Of course, you know, Ben is the kind of, as we know, the final survivor, you know, of the film, in the sense of the zombie outbreak and all the different kind of the members of the group and how they're kind of approaching this. Some of them, you know, very not very well in that sense, but Ben is the one who kind of keeps his cool, you know, in a way, and he is, you know, in charge, and you know, he kind of has this plan, you know, this kind of way of approaching this and surviving, of course, boarding up the house and all this kind of stuff, and his approach, you know, he is the one that takes charge and leads effectively, and you know, although he is caring to, for example, Barbara, you know, and just kind of trying to make sure, you know, in the end the group do survive, but you know, there's this kind of brave, courageous spirit that he kind of channels, and it's so inspiring to see this, and it's just such a great performance by Duane Jones. You know, he really is, you know, the best in this film by far, and just seeing this kind of performance by Duane Jones, you know, it really is. It's just so strong, this one, and you know, I think this was his first kind of performance, I guess, you know, debut in a feature film, and you know, he really is just so great in this film. You know, he commands the screen, although, you know, he doesn't come into it, and it's a very interesting thing about this film. You know, it's a fairly short film as well, you know, around 90 odd minutes, but the characters are very gradually introduced. For example, Ben, it takes a while for him to come into it, really, and the first kind of 25 minutes or so, it's mainly, you know, Barbara, played by, of course, Judith, and you know, she's giving a very memorable performance. I must say that. But you know, seeing this, you know, she kind of it's mainly her, and of course Johnny, you know, played by Russell Streiner, and you know, he is a hilarious character. You know, when he's in the film, of course, the first, you know, kind of 10 minutes or so, you know, they kind of these characters, as we know, you know, Barbara and Johnny are kind of going to visit their father's grave, and you know, it's all this kind of jokiness. You know, if Johnny, they're coming to get you, Barbara. You know, that famous line that I've heard before, and you know, it's referenced as well in Shaun of the Dead. You know, in a different way, hilarious, of course. But you know, this line, it's just so kind of. When I saw this, I was just, you know, kind of got the shivers. You know, it's just such a hilarious, strange, but epic, you know, delivery of this, and you know, just the kind of the pushing, you know, of Barbara, and you know, this kind of teasing her, and then of course, you know, zombies emerging, and you know, Johnny is kind of dispatched, and you know, just it's quite hilarious, that moment. It really is this kind of hilarious scene, but you know, very tragic as well. That is the final scene, you know, with Johnny, until he is, of course, later on in the film, geniusly brought back, of course, as a zombie, and that moment there, when he kind of, you know, gets, he grabs Barbara, and effectively, we don't see her actually getting killed, you know, on screen, but you know, effectively the only character really in the film, perhaps killed off screen, but you know, just seeing that, and the way he kind of takes her away, you know, from this location and into the crowd, and you don't see any more. That's very kind of poetic, and you know, just so effective how Johnny is brought back, and I knew he would be, just because, you know, the way it's built up, and you know, he falls, and you know, of course, Barbara is constantly kind of referring to Johnny throughout the film, so I thought, you know, he's going to be brought back, obviously as a zombie, and you know, he was, and it's just certainly delivered, you know, satisfying interactions, you know, I guess, throughout the film, and the way this is brought together in the final act is stunning. It really is, and of course, Ben survives the night. He is the one who, through his kind of strategy and you know, kind of courage, and just his actual way in which he approaches this, you know, the manoeuvres, and you know, his strength physically, but also mentally as well, psychologically, he's the one that, you know, does make it out of the basement, you know, the cellar. But then, of course, we have the final moments where, of course, the group of men that are going through, you know, picking off the zombies, they kill him, they kill Ben, and you know, it's a very, very sad, you know, powerful moment, of course. And you know, just the social commentary in this film, it's just so. It's so interesting, of course, and I think, you know, the ending as well. It's just this. It feeds into this, and it's very, very tragic, and powerful, and effective in its narrative. This film, you know, the storytelling, and all the different themes that are explored. You know, the messages. It's all part of this experience, and I just appreciate this so much. I really do, and I really I'm very pleased of seeing this film. It's got so much in this, and it's a very, very powerful ending, and just very sad that, of course, I did not want Ben to die, and it's a shame that even though he did survive the night, of course, very shockingly picked off in the final moments, and then we have that kind of montage of the way they're kind of just dragging him along, and all these different bodies, of course, and putting them onto the pyre, and lighting them up, and it's just a very shocking, brutal, and just effective ending, and I think really it stuck with me, of course, and just thinking on this, and Ben was such a great character, and it's just great how he emerges at first, and then continues to really take charge, and he is just by far the best character in the film, but we have many characters who are just so enjoyable, and this warmth, the charm, I guess, to the interactions throughout the film. Tom as well, and Judy, the kind of couple that are in the film. Harry and his family, and just kind of hearing the characters, the backstory to the characters, so well written. Once again, George A. Romero, he is just doing so much in this film. Co-writing, of course, with John Russo, and really he's editing as well. The cinematographer is George A. Romero, of course, and just all these different kind of roles. He is just putting so much into this film, I guess, and effectively the first kind of modern zombie film, really, and just all of this, his first feature film, and he pulls it off like this. This is just some film to kind of look up to, I guess, and it's a film that, wow, what a feat this is. Your first feature film as a director, and effectively creating this whole kind of subgenre, as well as because zombie, as we know, was used before this film, but the modern zombie kind of way is just, it's all here, I guess, and so many different elements of this genre that I love is all here, and it's this is the original, really, in that sense, where it all began, and it's just so there's a novelty to that, I guess, and just yes, the way this film was written, though, it's really so investing, and just Johnny as well, of course, Russell Streiner, he is just so memorable in this film. Also, kind of one of the producers of the film, but just seeing this kind of character at first, it kind of sticks with you, even though he's only in the film for around kind of 10 minutes or so. It's just so kind of memorable, and seeing, of course, his interactions at first, the relationship with, the sibling relationship, between him and, of course, Barbara, is so kind of warm, and just it kind of adds more to her character, I guess, and I just love the way in which this film begins, and the radio, of course, going off, and all this kind of stuff happening, and then, of course, Barbara, Judith Rodea, the kind of the scene where she's just running down that kind of road there. That's just such a kind of epic scene there. The way it's shot, the cinematography throughout is just stunning. It really is, and just kind of dreamlike effect it has, and this kind of grit as well at the same time. Really is such a wonderfully shot film. The exterior shots, and also, of course, the shots inside, kind of in the farmhouse, just so kind of putting a different kind of experience to the different rooms, and even if we don't kind of visit the rooms, to a time, at a certain point, we're kind of picturing them, and kind of associating different emotions, and kind of the presence of different characters in particular rooms, I guess. It's all kind of wonderfully built up, and the way it's kind of written, it's just wonderful. It really is, and I think George A. Romero he really did deliver with this film. The writing, the editing, as I say, he edited the film, and it really is wonderful. It has this kind of I guess this sense of urgency at times, kind of it's so kind of intense and shocking through the editing, I guess. But seeing as well the different moments of poetic editing, and just the way in which time passes, and mainly around this night, of course, and just the way in which this kind of leads into the next day, and all this kind of stuff. The way it's put together, the flow of it, it really is stunning, and I think this film is just constantly investing. I think, and just seeing the characters and how they kind of gradually are introduced. But it's just so wonderful to see this, and of course Ben, Harry, all these different characters. Karl Hardman playing Harry, and here's this kind of this force, this character who really the conflict, that he's kind of creating, I guess, it's kind of perhaps his downfall. The very interesting thing about this, and many zombie films, of course, they're doing that. It's how different characters kind of perhaps fail to at times come together as a group to survive, and kind of the breaking down of society all kind of intertwines, but how effectively these characters are not working as a team, and then of course they do kind of meet their end, and their demise perhaps is through this, and it's very interesting, of course, and how George A. Romero is kind of creating these characters, and establishing this conflict, of course, and what the characters do, they sit down at times and they're kind of talking in more of a calmer way, but and seeing, of course, I love as well the kind of scenes where we hear the radio, and the characters respond to this, and it's just hilarious at times as well. Harry's kind of his motives, and how he just is obsessed with staying down in the cellar, even though, of course, the radio and all this kind of stuff, he wants, and his wife does kind of course challenge him, and say he's just he's doing all the wrong stuff, and he's just the way he acts is quite hilarious though, and how he's obsessed with just staying down, locked in in the cellar. But of course we have that kind of the way in which Ben does go down there and survive, of course, until the next day. But there's just the way in which Harry is very headstrong, constantly kind of shouting, of course, in the film, and just it's a really kind of campy way in which it's done. But the characters are so well written, and there are some slights with the performances, perhaps, and I think throughout the film, and they're not all kind of masterful characters overall, but they're so well written, and kind of it's just such a kind of lovely way in which this film unfolds. It's a very peaceful film at times, the locations, of course, and just the way this film unfolds, the narrative, a very easygoing film at times, and just the kind of the bare bones nature of this, as well, in different areas. It's just so pure in the way it's told, and despite all this, it's very, very shocking, very brutal. It's a very nice film to see. Very pleasing and comforting. I guess got so much comfort from the characters, especially Ben, and as well Barbara as well. Kind of the way in which the character kind of acts in the film. It's very comforting. This film, kind of campy, and just very very pure in the way it's told, but it is very graphic. The effects are so convincing. They're just so great, these kind of practical effects. I was just wowed by this, and again, very low budget film, but did not affect this experience. Just so stunning, the effects, and I was very kind of disturbed by this film. Of course, the zombies, and you actually see of course eating the flesh and all these different the organs, of course, of victims, and it's very graphic in the way it's done, and it made me kind of really taken aback at times in the way it's edited as well. Very precise, very kind of it really jolts you, I guess, very abrupt in all the right ways, and very effective in the editing. In fact, masterful editing in this film, and the direction is just so good by Romero. But of course, seeing how brutal this film is a wonderful kind of poetic, juxtaposition of the beauty, and the kind of brutality as well, and the intense, extreme scenes in which the zombies are breaking in and taking different characters, and kind of picking them off. It's just so immersive, and really this wonderful visionary film. It really is, and just seeing how these characters it kind of plays into this theme of kind of trust, loyalty. How these characters are kind of interacting, and how they are kind of conversing, talking things out. But so many different characters in this film just kind of going, doing their own thing within this group, within this house, and going off. And I guess it's just not really a group that works too well together in some regards. But of course, Tom and Judy, they go off at one point as well, and that was very tragic to see their kind of demise, and to see them dispatched. Of course, the car exploding, and it's such a kind of shocking moment, and the reaction, of course, from different characters. For example, Ben. It's a very very human film. This, the characters, and how when they do kind of meet their end, it's so kind of wonderfully done, and just you feel the emotion of this, and especially of course the ending, the way in which Ben is very abruptly and kind of shockingly very quickly picked off there, and it's a very tragic ending, as I say, but listed throughout, so many flourishes, just human touches in this film, and it's this wonderful original genre film, but of course just this kind of wonderful human film, this real kind of realism that's in this, as well as being a real kind of fantastical dreamlike effect. This whole experience, this surreal experience, but it has comedy in the film as well, to kind of lighten the mood. And of course, the first sequence, as we know, the whole kind of line that is said, and as I say, Johnny being just a hilarious character, and his presence is felt throughout, the constant kind of referring to his character, of course Barbara especially, kind of talking about Johnny, and she is kind of unhinged, and she's losing her mind perhaps, but she is nevertheless kind of referencing Johnny, and it's in the back of the mind, and when he does return, it's just I felt like clapping, but of course I was just shocked at this, and just like kind of really just kind of perhaps so ecstatic with seeing him return, and the whole way in which he brings her into the crowd of zombies and pulls her away from the group. This is just wow, so satisfying, this film, all these different moments, and just so tragic as well, and kind of leaves you on that on that note of such powerful kind of final act, and particularly the final scenes of Ben. It's just so affecting, and really a wonderful film. This it's full of passion, zest, and this energy, but this control, this patience, and I love the TV scenes as well. It's radio scenes, kind of learning a bit more about of course the outbreak, and this whole kind of way in which they're referring to those first as simply as killers, mass killings and stuff, and just very realistic as well in the way it's done. It's very convincing. It's like actually seeing a news segment, in the way it's done. It's very interesting, of course, kind of like a documentary in the way it's done. These TV sequences, and just at the same time, it is this kind of campiness to it, this charm that I love. I love the blend of this throughout this fully immersive film, convincing film in every element really, and at the same time, this full-on kind of horror film, gory. It's kind of other times, of course, it's implied violence, but it really is such times well gory, kind of imagery, and just seeing the way in which these characters try to survive, of course. This whole kind of great survival film, it's just so wonderful to see, and yes, the TV sequences, there is this mystery to it. There's not too much revealed about this, the actual origins of this, of course, but it's just great that this kind of was left lingering throughout the film, and I love the way in which it's kind of gradually built up. We start off with the radio going off and all this, and there's disturbance of the radio. We see just a few sightings at first of these zombies, and I just wow, the way in which it gradually unfolds. This leads to farmhouse, and more kind of emerging zombies, and then of course the final act, which is just all out, kind of carnage, and multiple zombies all around them, of course, and characters all kind of trying to survive, multiple characters getting killed off, of course in the end every single character of our kind of main group are at some point dispatched, and it's very sad. And of course the music as well, by Romero himself. Wow, this is just so kind of atmospheric, chilling. It's a really disturbing score. I listened to it as well. A little bit after seeing the film. Last night as well. Once again, just going through this score, and it's just so great. Kind of this gritty, grimy feeling. But really, such a wonderful score by Romero, and so talented, this filmmaker, and all these different elements kind of taking part in, and of course just the way in which these characters, this cast, are playing their characters so well. Of course, I think there are some slights, as I say, in the acting, but particular standouts, of course, Harry, and the character of Harry, played by of course Karl Hardman, but of course the main star of the show is Ben, played by Duane Jones. He is a legendary character, and this performance is stunning. It channels so much kind of this character. Actually, it really feels like he is trying to survive in the sense that it's so convincing, this performance, and so kind of believable, and really so much kind of emotion in this character. At times, Ben is perhaps not saying anything as well in the film, where there are those moments where other people are talking, or he's just simply boarding up the house. But he's so great in this role. That, so much kind of said when he's not speaking as well. His body language, the eye acting in this film from Ben, the performance by Duane Jones, it's just stunning. It really is. It's just how you kind of portray this character, even without dialogue, and it's just so wonderfully shot. All these different moments visually that just stick with me. I can kind of remember the film so vividly. I know it's been roughly a week since I saw this, not even that, but I guess just it's kind of these moments, visual moments that kind of etch into my mind. Just how effective this film is. The cinematography in this film, it really lends a hand to that, and the way in which we have these kind of just a few locations in the film, mainly this farmhouse, and I thought are they going to go out of this this farmhouse to a point where they go to a different location and take refuge there? I was wondering this. Of course, I hadn't seen the film before, but it's just great. I kind of in the end I was glad with how all this was played out, and the actual choices to the narrative, and all this kind of stuff. It was just so effective, and I loved every single act in this film. I think the final act is just so kind of great and epic. This explosive final act. I love the middle and how these characters, are all interacting at once. And I think perhaps yes, the middle of the film, is my favourite kind of segment. But I love the beginnings as well, and the way in which this opens up. Very, very tense. Very comedic as well, and just so mysterious. The atmosphere, is kind of maintained throughout, and I love how we, as I say, we kind of go from radio to TV, and then the more these characters are kind of learning, or not really too much. They're not still kind of given any concrete answers here about how this kind of began, and how this is going to end, I guess. But the characters, in that sense, the characters do all die. Well, not really knowing too much about this, which is just kind of fascinating. But the way in which these characters are kind of learning different moments, seeing these TV, kind of messages, of course, it's just so kind of immersive, and putting yourself into that experience, like in a kind of great zombie films, and how. What would you do? It gets you thinking. What would you do in this kind of scenario? An outbreak, of course, and everyone talks about this, of course. And I think this film is just one of the most effective, immersive films, of this genre. Kind of putting you into this this world, and not really anything too wacky in this film. Taking me out of the experience. It's just this fully immersive film, and there are some slights, of course. I think the acting at times, and just some moments that aren't as stunning as the rest of the film. I don't think there are just some moments that aren't kind of to that masterful degree, and this film is not quite a full mark film, but it really is. I guess one of my favourite horror films, and I truly love this film. I can't say, I can't praise this film more. I really do truly love this film, and I think it may not be my favourite George A. Romero film. Find out, of course, eventually. But this film, it really is. I think its own way up there with Dawn of the Dead. Of course, just in its how unique this film is, and how original, and just passionate, the filmmaking is, and this creativity, this buzz, this excitement, just in how this film is made, and the actual narrative, and how pure and simple the storytelling is. It really is a wonderful achievement, and I think just seeing how this film, as I say, pans out, the final act of the film is just so highly unforgettable, and this experience was just it was one of them experiences for me that just I was just so pleased after seeing this. I had a smile on my face. I was very moved, of course. I had tears in the eye from this final act, and the final moment in particular. Truly powerful, powerful stuff. And this film it's not kind of as heavy, you know, on messages in terms of how many themes, you know, kind of messages there are. As for example, Dawn of the Dead, in some ways, I think, you know. There are, for example, many different ways in which Dawn of the Dead, you know, kind of is, you know, kind of commenting on society. But you know, this film, in some regards, is just as, you know, kind of heavy on, you know, kind of extra things going on. I guess, you know, social commentary, messages, you know, themes. It's just a very different film. Dawn of the Dead is more of an epic, you know, kind of you know, bigger film. You know, it's this bigger scale, of course. You know, different things going on, and how the zombies, you know, kind of portrayed is very different in that film, and yeah, in the different George A. Romero films, Land of the Dead as well, Day of the Dead. It's all very different, but you know, this is the film, Night of the Living Dead. It's just so stunning in how this is kind of it's very simple, you know, just instantly kind of lovable zombie film. You know, this survival film, horror film, you know, thriller, of course, mystery, but it is, you know, as well. There's so much underneath this, and kind of. It's just simply, you know, it's not kind of heavily focused on in a direct way, for example, in an overt way. It's just very much definitely there for us to kind of, you know, feel, I guess. You know, it's really wonderfully interwoven, all these different themes in this film and messages, and it's just, it really is felt, especially by the end of this experience, and the way this film comes together. As I say, a wonderful final act, and you know, it's just so wowed by this film. You know, I really do count this as one of my favourite zombie films, and you know, just among my I don't know where it will be, but among my favourite horror films. So yes, my final rating for this film is very, very high indeed, and you know, I admire this film so much. You know, kind of it was this wonderful experience. You know, I really do rate this highly, and yes, my final rating is a 95%. Yes. I absolutely loved it. I think it's just, there aren't really too many issues I have with the film at all. Just some slights here and there, the acting at times from different characters. But you know, really, this film, it's just simply not a film that perhaps goes to this, you know, kind of, you know, not quite at the masterpiece level, but you know, really such a stunning film. You know, I cannot praise this film enough. I really loved it. You know, I think. Just instantly kind of lovable and charming, and really becomes so kind of immersive, and in the end very emotional as well. This ride, you know, this thrill ride, you know, it's very creative, you know, atmospheric piece. I was just so wowed by this film, the script, the ideas, of course, the energy, and being, of course, as well, you know, the first, as we know, a true kind of modern zombie film. It's just so, you know, as I say, for the first feature film, you know, filmmaker, you know, kind of going on do this and create this, you know, whole kind of different, you know, kind of type of horror film. It really is inspiring, and you know, very low budget as well. So you know, so inspiring, this film, and just he went out and he made this film, and all those involved put so much passion into this, and really brought their own kind of you know, take onto this, into this genre, and creating this, and also just really, you know, kind of this social commentary, very, very powerful, and I commend this film for that, you know, and all those involved, and just channeling this emotion, you know, just adding this to and bringing this to the characters, and you know, for this very intense scenario, and you know, very intense emotions as well within the characters, and just, you're seeing again that the final moments really is so powerful. You know, really is just wow. This film is stunning, and just kind of it's so much kind of you know, haunting of an experience. This one, and just so at the same time, you know, so charming, comforting, and just, you know, it's a hilarious film at times. Different moments in the film, but you know, really, it's so immersive. It's so epic, and I absolutely loved it. And I think, seeing this film, I can't wait to see this again. And as I say, with the Criterion release, it's just stunning, and you know, great, wonderful transfer. And as I say, you know, the design once again, you know, on this, you know, just, it's just amazing. This, and really is something to kind of to really be proud of having in the collection. You know, of course. Showing this on my Blu-ray update video, and you know, for now, we'll say this film truly is one that means so much to me, and clearly so many people out there, of course. And I think this is one of the great, you know, stunning achievements by George A. Romero, and you know, he was a master filmmaker in this genre, and it's just great to see how much love he has out there. Just some of his films are loved and respected, and that is great, of course. And Dawn of the Dead I will be reviewing as well at some point this year, and I do plan on acquiring finally on Blu-ray that film. I think there's a really good release, kind of a fairly pricey one, but I do plan on getting that for this, because I do love the film. I do already know my thoughts on that, in the sense of I do love the film, so I don't have a problem with paying a bit more for that release, and I cannot wait to do that. So hopefully in a month or so, I'll get that, and hopefully talk about it this summer on the channel. Yes, cannot wait for that, and it's just eventually exploring as many as I can, at least kind of George Romero films on the channel, and hearing your thoughts as well. So yes, that's my thoughts. For me, it's a stunning film. Really, just a few slights here and there, but a wonderful, wonderful achievement, and really one of my favourite kind of horror films. Among them at least, and really for a debut film, especially as well. This is just wowing. It really is. But in its own way, just so kind of immersive and stunning to behold. So yes, that's my thoughts. What do you think? It'd be great to hear, and share your experience with this film. Obviously, this was my first watch, so I could. For example, I could have analysed this film a bit more, but it's fine for now to leave it on this, and just to share my initial reactions to this stunning film. It really is a wonderful achievement, but it'd be great to hear your thoughts on this, and that's my opinion on the film. It's a great one, but it'd be great to know your thoughts, and to discuss this film, and of course zombie films in general. Of course, and different George Romero films, and yes, it'd be great to do, and very fascinating to hear your opinions, on this, and as we say, this entire genre, of course, and really wonderful, inspiring film that's just stunning to behold in its visuals. The score is great, and just these characters, especially our lead character, just absolutely mind blowing, and really a wonderful, atmospheric, and just unforgettable experience. So yes, it'd be great to hear, as I say, and I look forward to going forward discussing more films from this legendary filmmaker. And yes, for now we say Night of the Living Dead. It's a great one, and yes, it's been a pleasure to watch this film, to own this film, and of course to discuss this film on the channel, and of course potentially many more conversations in the comments if you want will unfold, and from there we can kind of discuss a variety of these different films, of course, as I review them, and it'd be great to do, and I really look forward to this so much. And yes, as I've gone through recently, the Nightmare on Elm Street films last year, and the Scream films as well, and go through them. So of course it'd be great to kind of expand that more and more as we go forward, and yes, kind of all these zombie films now to discuss, and yes, it'd be great to do that. And yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.